Ladies and gentlemen who are here with us, and those of you who are viewing this event online, hello. My name is Iwaki, and I belong to the WIAS, and I'll be playing the role as moderator. Thank you very much indeed for joining us once again. Now, we would like to commence the WIAS 15th Anniversary Symposium titled Well-Being at the Time of Uncertainty. We would like to have the second day of the event titled Life. First and foremost, we would like to have the Keynote Speech number 3 titled Well-Being Brought About by Imagination Sharing to be given from Director of the Institute for Advanced Research of the Nagoya University, Director AWAGA. Director AWAGA's specialty is physical chemistry and has served in the positions such as Director of the Research Center for Mathematical Science of the Nagoya University and the Dean of the Graduate School of the Science of the Nagoya University. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for a very kind introduction. And let me start my slide. And first of all, I'd like to thank the Professor Gao and all the members of the WIAS for kind invitation to this kind of excellent symposium. And I also would like to congratulate on the 15th anniversary of the WIAS. Very congratulations. And this is the title of my talk, Well-Being Brought About the Imagination Sharing. Before the main contents, I just want to introduce our institute, Institute for Advanced Research at Nagoya University. This is established in 2002 under the leadership of the first director, Dr. Ryoji Noyori, as a research promotion organization to enhance world-class research activity and cross-departmental collaboration for the advancement of science. I just want to show you a short movie which is produced by Tetsuro Ayatsuka, who is working on the science communicator in our institute. He is in this room. Anyway.
Great internationally recognized research of the highest quality. The Institute seeks an innovative world by focusing on research activities across different departments. The ninth Director, Kunio AWAGA. Showcase for advanced research and development of talented researchers. Voyage for new standards of academia. Young leaders cultivation. Encouraging early career researchers to be next generation leaders. Promoting pure research from a broad perspective that transcends conventional disciplinary boundaries. University-based Institute for Advanced Study, the international network of other such institutions around the world, planning of various international exchange programs. Various on-campus lectures, Nagoya University Lecture. Citation for Chemical Breakthrough Award. Nagoya University Initiative Webinar.
Okay, thank you for watching. As indicated in this movie, we have following 4 missions to showcase the excellent research at Nagoya University, organizing NU lecture and NU initiative. That's why we need Ayatsuka-san in our institute to provide substantial support for the outstanding research, especially in the interdisciplinary research. To foster young researchers through the programs, so-called YLC program and the TJEX programs, and to carry out international activity as a WIAS member. Okay, let me move on the main topic. Let me start my talk by mentioning the Nobel Prize of this year in physiology or medicine. This was awarded to Professor Pebo. He established a technique for analyzing the genetic information of the extinct humans. And he also found the Homo sapiens inhabited part of the genetic information of the Neanderthals, and reveals the possibility that the Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals interbreed. The extinction of the Neanderthals are a subject of the many books, including this book. This is a book for the children. Anyway, it is written that Neanderthals are biologically very close to us, Homo sapiens. They were more muscular and powerful than Homo sapiens and had larger brain. Even so, they became extinct because of their lack of the imagination. Compared to the Homo sapiens, who could imagine a single god and the organized groups, Neanderthals could only create small family groups and were defeated by the logic of the numbers. Regarding the, I think this idea comes from this book, written by this book, Sapiens, A Brief History of the Humankind, written by Yuval Noah Harari. This is a worldwide bestseller, so that many of you know this book very well. But anyway, the key concept is imaginary fiction, which is a fantasy that doesn't actually exist, but is widely believed to be a fanciful and imaginary product. Examples are God, religion, money, science, etc., which are the common fundamentals that support the human society. So by sharing imaginary fiction such as God, Homo sapiens have formed, maintained, and developed large populations. And I want to introduce two cutting-edge research regarding the imagination sharing. I want to show you two movies. One is the Android Buddha statue. This was conducted by Professor Kohei Ogawa in graduate school engineering. The next is analyzing Egyptian pyramids in digital age. This was conducted by Professor Yukinori Kawae. Institute for Advanced Research is sitting in this room. Anyway, let me start.
So my research title of this day is the Android Buddha statue. But first of all, I'd like to say that we are not focused on the religions itself in this research. The objectives of this research is to utilize the function of religions to HRI study. HRI is the research field that's the human-robot interactions, and especially in Android technology is my field. And the final goal of this project is build a presence robot based on the human's imagination. So please take a look at these videos. So this is a teleoperated Android, and okay, so this woman is operators. She operating the robot now, and when she look at left side, for example, robot look left, and if she make a smile, and robot make a smile, and also her voice is directly out of it from this robot, and also lip sync is always wrong. So this robot's purpose is to transfer the actual human's presence from the distant place. To do that, we implement such system that we transfer the whole possible information of the operators, like behaviors or voices or smilings or everything. And then in this experiment, we found that the Android robot can show the actual person's presence using the Android robot like this. And the second one is the telenoid. So this is the little bit tricky android robot. So the question of this research is, do robots with abstract appearances make people feel humans' presence? So please take a look. How do you think? I think that almost of the people feel it's quite weird, right? Sometimes the people say that it looks like Casper, it's like a ghost. But this is our purpose. Please imagine that in the previous one, the female android robot has a very specific, outer appearance. It's a woman's, and the age is around 20 or 30, and then also that robot is quite similar with a model person. So that's why that robot quite easy to transfer the actual person's presence, but that actual person has to be a humans. The women's and age 20, 30, and the similar appearance of the model person. But please imagine that if I operate such female android robot, and my voice is coming from such beautiful woman's android, that's so weird, right? And the result of the experiment shows that a robot telenoids, which has the abstract appearance, could convey the actual human's presence. And the human's presence is produced from the imaginations, right? Not only from producing appearance or voices of originals. For example, please take a look at photo A. The small girls kissing the robot giving a hug. In the first met, she started crying so much, but at some certain period of time, she started kissing. This is because the operator is her mother's, and she can feel, oh, this robot is my mother, and then start kissing. It means that she can feel or find her actual mother's presence into this robot. So here's a summary of the examples of my research. So first one is lack of details evoke humans' imagination. This is from the selection dialogue system or telenoid studies. Okay. And second one is interpolation of the room for imagination is positively biased. This is a very important thing. It's always positively biased. If the people who always negatively biased to imagine, so I think they are quite hard to have a conversation, a communication with others. Right? There's always negatively thinking. And third one is using humans' imagination enhances robot presence. Right? Evoking humans' imaginations is positively biased, so that's why the humans' imaginations enhances robot presence. So that's why it's a time to go on to studies of presence robot based on the humans' imaginations. And then our answer is like this. It's an Android Boots statue, Minder. First one is a faces neutral design, like a telenoid. It can make feel as both male, female, or others. And second one is the body exposed machineries. It means it can make us feel as both artifacts or humans. The faces looks like humans, but the body is not a humans. It's on the border of the human and non-human things. Okay. This is a tricks to evoke the humans' imaginations. And then here, this is the minders. Please take a look for a while. Okay, so this is the conclusions of my talk. It's not the final goal. So we try to do this. We have to keep struggling to engage, such research of robots based on the imaginations. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me move on to the second movie.
Hello, my name is Yukinori Kawai. I'm the faculty member of Institute for Advanced Research, Nagoya University in Japan. My academic expertise is Egyptian archaeology, mainly Old Kingdom pyramids, built around in 4,500 years ago. I first saw the pyramid at Giza in 1992, having just graduated from high school and moved to Cairo from Japan. I ultimately spent 16 years in Egypt, and during which time I graduated from American University in Cairo with Egyptology BA. Ancient Egypt is a mine of images and the symbols. The gods have animal faces, like here, falcons and the cows and the jackals and the crocodile and even the insect with human bodies, thereby evoking a sense of the familiarity and also the sense of transcendence beyond human powers. Through rituals, these images are strengthened and becoming traditions and histories and extremely powerful force. And using these images, ancient Egyptians built monumental structure such as pyramid. And the pyramids themselves also evoke strong images. In particular, the pyramids, which is the tomb of the king, were built in such a way so they are related to celestial navigation of the earth. Here, this is a sight that can only be seen during summer solstices, when the sun sets between the two giant great pyramids of Giza, which forms a word that means horizon in ancient Egyptian language, in the hieroglyphics. This sight that evokes the image of the entrance to the underworld for ancient Egyptians. However, we must be careful here because the image of the ancient Egypt is so intense and so majestic. And modern people sometimes tend to see a kind of, the illusions. For example, even today, some people come to my public lecture and ask me a question about the pyramids, and saying that, the pyramid were not built by humans. Of course, they are built by humans. So when you see this photo of the surface of the masonry or barrier chamber, of the wall of the barrier chamber, both are taken inside Khufu pyramid, Great Pyramid, you can actually feel and see the pyramid were built by humans. For example, it is often said that not even rather can not fit through the stone joint surface of the pyramid because it is so thick. But yes, and this is actually true. And for the wall of the inner chamber, such as barrier chamber on your right hand of the Khufu barrier chamber, but the masonry of the inner structure is actually mesh, which is on your left. But the problem is, this kind of information of the messy structure has not been properly documented until now. Therefore, sometimes, people can only see nicely surface of the stone wall, and then this will sometimes, bring an illusion of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Therefore, in 2012, we started we started an interdisciplinary research project involving in the various disciplines to attempt comprehensive data of the pyramid. And in 2022, this year, we also collaborate with WorldScan project to obtain all internal and external data using in the drone and also special 3D data acquisition cameras. They are archaeologically important study areas which shows the masonry structure of the pyramids, such as top of the Great Pyramid, and also the upper part of the Khafre Pyramid, the second pyramid at Giza, and also the Great Gash, what we called, of the northern face of the third pyramid of the main Khafre. For each pyramid, we took in a picture in detail of each face. So small square marks in this slide, which is in the eastern side of the Khafre Pyramid, positions where we photographed with drone. We almost photographed in 10,000 image of each pyramid, and using this image with structure from motion technique, we produced a 3D model of the pyramid. This is our 3D model, and this is not imaginary computer graphic, but based on 3D model integrated with global navigation satellite system data. So each stone represents an original shape and size. This is, of course, remarkable result. Conclusions. We use various data in an interdisciplinary study to understand the pyramid in a multi-layered way. To understand the people and the society and the state of ancient Egypt through the pyramids themselves, that ties them together. And also, we try to establish a standard model of the pyramid construction. Thank you very much.
So I hope you enjoyed the two movies, and this is a comparison between the kind of God of the near future and 3,000 years ago. You can see some kind of similarity between them. Anyway, we can conclude that the human Homo sapiens can grow a group, community, society by sharing their imagination, especially positive imagination. A simple way to create a new imaginary object is to combine two existing objects together. However, this kind of expansion process, it is likely that this kind of expansion results in the contact between two groups. If there is an inconsistency, a contradiction, or conflict of interest between the imagination, shared imagination, it seems that this results in the unhappy result, friction, trouble, dispute, even in war. This kind of thing can be seen even in the academic research area. I'm talking about the energy and environmental issue. In the remaining time, I want to discuss about this point. This shows a pollution problem, past and present. When I was a child, namely during the period of the rapid economic growth, Japan was very dirty. The pollution problem was so serious. There was no day without hearing the news of Kogai, air pollution, any kind of pollution. But right now, of course, we have, say, global warming. But this kind of local issue seems to be resolved nearly completely. But why and how? This is a kind of good answer. This is a three-way catalysis, which is equipped with any kind of modern automobiles. The exhaust gas of the engine includes this kind of toxic gas, hydrocarbon, carbon dioxide, and NOx. This catalyst can convert this into safe gases such as N2, nitrogen, H2, and CO2. maybe I can say by doing something more process or energy, we have overcome the pollution problem. I can say that by using more energy, we are keeping our society clean. This means that it's not easy to get a win-win relation between energy and the environment. This shows the energy and the classification of the energy and the relation among them. Energy can be classified into several categories: nuclear energy, light energy, chemical energy, thermal energy, mechanical energy, and electrical energy. I want to point out two things. One is primary energy. Primary energy is an energy form found in nature that has not been subjected to any human-engineered conversion processes. And the primary energy sources are mineral fuels such as uranium, fossil fuels, geothermal, and wind and tidal powers. A second point is the most user-friendly energy in modern life and society is electrical energy. But since this is not a primary energy, we need to convert some energy to the electrical energy. Let's take a look at the conversion process. And in a thermal plant, by burning out the fossil fuels, of course we can get the thermal energy. By using this heat, we operate heat engines, and then we get the mechanical energy. Then, by converting this to through the generator, finally we obtain the electrical energy. This shows a kind of bird view of the energy versus environment situations. There are three modern techniques which are regarded as the environmentally friendly technique: fuel cells, zero emission, and CO2 fixations. But of course, this is a clean technique, but energy comes from the electricity comes from the power plants where we produce a lot of CO2. The fuel of the fuel cell is hydrogen, H2. It's not a primary energy, so that we need to produce it. Right now, we are producing H2 from the petrol by this chemical reaction producing CO2. Please remember, this is not a simple criticism to the three techniques. They are very important modern techniques. We should improve. Even so, we need to look for the permanent solution from the comprehensive perspective on energy and environment. We need to reduce dependence on the fossil fuels. If we can replace this part of the clean energy, everything becomes clean. We need to improve the efficiency of energy production and energy conversion processes. In this meaning, the most promising way, one of the promising projects is technique is a rechargeable battery, which bridges the distance between chemical energy and the electrical energy. There is many room to improve the rechargeable battery. I just want to tell you the research project which we are conducting. This is just a personal advertisement. But anyway, we are working on by getting the Kakenhi, we are working on the chemistry and the physics of molecular system with a mathematically defined strongly isotropic lattice structure. Strongly isotropic structures are diamond, honeycomb, and K-hole. Please remember, I have no time to explain the detail, but these three structures are mathematics guarantees the unusualness or the interesting point. So that we are making these three structures with molecule. Then we are analyzing the bond structure. Then we are trying to apply this material to the rechargeable batteries. Let me summarize my talk. Regarding these imagination sharing, there seem to be two processes, expansion and friction. They are the happy and unhappy processes, respectively. Anyway, for future well-being, it is important to harmonize contradicted imagination. And above all, I think it is more important to recognize the imagination theory as an intrinsic character of human being. It's important to imagine this status. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.